A while ago, I made these portraits of Brittany, Broski, and Afualo using my Ohuhu markers, and I just realized that I never shared them with you. So today, I thought I'd show you the process I use to make these Ohuhu marker portraits while we have a little chat about how I've been feeling with my art lately. Recently, I've been struggling to make art. And not because I don't want to, because I do. Every day I wake up and I tell myself, today I'll paint, today I'll draw, today I'll create something. But then the day goes by and I somehow do everything else except that. And it's not like I don't have the time. Sometimes I do have the time, but I still can't seem to pull myself to start. And then, to make things worse, I go online and I see artist after artist sharing the most incredible things. Paintings, illustrations, animations, studies, sketchbook tours. And I just end the day feeling a bit sad. Like I'm not a real artist and I must not love art enough, because if I did, I'd be doing it more, right? The truth is, right now, art is a hobby for me. But it didn't used to be. For a while, art was my business. And even though I was so grateful to be making money from my work, it also became really hard. Everything I created had to have a purpose, a deadline, a result, a standard. And somewhere along the way, I realized I didn't have time to focus on the things I actually wanted to get better at. I want to study, to explore, to grow, without constantly worrying if something would sell or perform. So I made the choice to take on another job and to let art be mine again. Not a product or a deliverable, just something I could do for me. But weirdly, that freedom almost makes it harder. Because now there's no deadline, no client, no one expecting me to show up. When you're the only one who can hold yourself accountable, but you're also the one who's burned out, tired, scrolling, comparing, it almost feels impossible to get started. Well, that's where I've been lately. Caught between wanting to make art and not being able to, and feeling kinda guilty about it. And this got me thinking about a conversation I had with a younger artist. She told me she was scared that maybe she didn't love art enough to be an artist, because lately, she'd been avoiding making art. And I recognized that feeling right away. The hesitation, the self-doubt, the pressure. I've been there. Honestly, I am there. And after our chat, I kept thinking about how she lights up every single time we talk about her favorite artists, the materials we want to try, the art we dream of making. So it's not like she doesn't love it, it's just she's going through a massive life shift. She just finished high school, she's about to start college, there's excitement, but also fear, pressure, uncertainty. And it made me think, of course that's affecting her creativity. She's holding a lot, and it's okay to be overwhelmed. And then I had this moment like, wait, if I can be that compassionate with her, why haven't I stopped to ask if maybe the same thing is happening to me? So I started to reflect. Have there been any big changes in my life lately? And yeah, actually, there have. My husband and I just bought our first apartment. We've been renovating, moving, trying to build our home from scratch while living in a lovely but chaotic work in progress. I also just wrapped up one of the biggest work projects of my life. One that truly pushed me way outside of my comfort zone. And in between all those big things, there's 100 little ones. Like deciding on furniture, reorganizing the closets, planning meals, going for walks, you get the idea. They're not big things. In fact, a lot of it is good, beautiful even. But they still take space. Mental space and emotional energy. The thing is, when we don't acknowledge how much we're holding, we just end up feeling guilty for not doing more. Guilty for needing rest. I end up feeling guilty for not painting, even though I said I would. So I run from the guilt. I scroll, I distract myself. I avoid asking how I actually feel, because I'm scared the answer will be tired, overwhelmed, and like I'm not good enough. But maybe I'm not failing. Maybe I'm just going through a big life change. And the more I sat with that, the more I started questioning this whole idea of loving it enough. Because what does that even mean? I think a lot of us just say, maybe I don't love it enough, or I'm not good enough to do something I love, when what we really want to say is, I'm scared. Scared to be bad at it, scared to waste time, scared it won't look the way I imagined. But real love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, calm, steady, the kind that shows up without needing to prove anything. And maybe we don't need to prove to ourselves that we love art enough either. Maybe we don't need to earn it with perfection or justify it with productivity. Maybe it's enough to feel the pull, to be curious, to want to make something, even if it's messy, even if we're scared. I think it's about learning to listen to ourselves, to what we actually need in this moment. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not great at that. I'm used to asking people what they need, being there, showing up, holding space, but when it comes to me, I don't always ask. I just tell myself, you should be painting, you should be creating, you should be working. But some days, if I really stop to ask myself how I felt, I probably say, I'm tired, or I feel numb, or I'm scared this painting won't be good enough. And instead of sitting with that, I scroll, I avoid, I pretend I just don't have the time. Because the truth is, sometimes I'm just afraid to listen. Because listening means feeling. And feeling means being honest with where I'm at. But when I do manage it, when I do pause and ask how I'm really doing, and make a small, conscious choice based on that answer, even if it's just opening my sketchbook for 5 minutes, I end up feeling so proud. Not because I made something amazing, but because I showed up for me. Not for anyone else, just for me. And maybe that's what this whole thing is about. Not proving that you're good enough. Not forcing yourself to be productive. Just choosing to show up in whatever way you can, even if it's slow, even if it's messy. I'm learning that we don't need to be ready. We just need to show up. Gently, honestly, and one step at a time.